Recently on the Wayspotters podcast, you heard Mr. Chris say...
Hello, agents, trainers, keepers, pilots, hunters, eighth wallers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode 144 of the Wayspotters podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you become a better wayfinder. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokemon Professor Network. Today is Friday, October 18th, and with me, as always, is Jamal. How's it going, my friend?
You know, it's going fantastic until we just started the show and the garbage truck outside decided to start backing up and beep, beep, beep. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I couldn't hear it, so maybe the listeners won't be able to hear it.
I hit mute and I'm like, oh man. And I'm like, this dang garbage truck. Like, I don't know. So I'm on a corner lot.
Right.
So it picks up my neighbor across the street and then it kind of goes down the cul-de-sac and comes back. But when it gets to my house, it picks up my garbage, it turns the corner and then it backs up again. And I'm like, what are you doing? Just go. And it's just beep, 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 and it just backs up. I'm like, you've already picked up my garbage. You've already picked up the neighbor. You got the person around the corner. Why are you backing up to turn left when you should just turn right? And then it turns left and then it does another U-turn and goes back the other way. For what reason? I don't know. I have
that
no
makes
clue.
No sense.
No sense at all.
That's awesome.
No sense at all.
I'm on a straight street, so it's just they stop and go, right? I get lucky.
Yeah.
They usually picked up everything Friday mornings before I'm gone, before we even start recording, so it's long gone.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it here. Thankfully.
And the garbage truck is big enough and heavy enough that it sets off my Ring doorbell alarm. So then my phone starts beeping and I'm like, all right, there's the garbage truck. So I don't know. I guess that's what I get for making Friday my work from home day. So
I guess so, yeah. I guess so. All right, let's jump into the news.
And now, the latest Niantic news from the Wayspotters podcast, presented by the Pokemon Professor Network.
All right, I'm going to tweet this out when we're done. The Scandiverse Fall Contest ends Monday, October 21st. So if you're listening to this on Sunday when we drop the pod, you've still got... So Monday the 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So you've got time to get out there Sunday and a little bit of Monday to get your scans in and get them in the contest. Check out community.scanverse.com. You can log in with your Niantic ID the same way that you log into the Wayfarer forums. It's super, super easy. And then find the Trick or Treat Fall Sweepstakes post. There's 3 different threads. Spooky scenes, changing leaves, and public cozy spaces. And a reminder, they are giving away $500 gift cards for each one of those 3 categories. So get out there and get those splats in if you can this weekend, Sunday.
That's huge.
After
$500
while
is
you're listening
huge.
to us, that would be good. Yeah. $500 is huge. So I put a couple into the trees one. It's nice because when you post it in there, you'll get a DM from a bot, I guess, that says, "Hey, we got it. You got an entry into the contest." So that was cool.
Nice.
So I just wanted to shout that out for our Scandiverse friends and YouTube. I wanted to say, I've been trying so hard to get them out Sundays. It's just not happening.
Right.
So to save myself some stress with everything that we've got with my family on the weekends, we're going to be dropping the YouTube on Mondays. So the audio will still come out on Sundays because Jamal is an animal, like a robot, and doesn't miss one ever, which is commendable. But the YouTube version will come out Mondays. So save myself.
So Sunday you listen, Monday you watch. I think that works perfect.
Absolutely. And I'm going to arrange the Coal of the Week and Wayspot of the Week to go out on Sunday morning when the pod drops. So if you're listening, you can go check out X and Instagram and all that good stuff. And then you can get a visual too.
Nice.
Incoming transmission. Download complete.
All right. So this is Future Chris and Future Jamal breaking into the news because Niantic did what Niantic likes to do and dropped some pretty hefty kind of news after we had finished recording.
Like as soon as we're done recording, they dropped this. Like we weren't done recording 35 minutes and they dropped this.
Yeah. I'm going to DM Tintino and be like, this is starting to feel personal. Like it's starting to feel personal.
Absolutely. Yeah. You know when we record.
All right. Real quick. I'm going to read a post from Tintino, and then we're going to have a little bit of a chat about it because this is pretty awesome stuff. Hello, explorers. Before you head out for the weekend, wanted to let you know that the next challenge is coming soon. For the first time ever, we'll be introducing contributions into a challenge, and as the first, we'll be hitting edit submissions. So as you're out and about this weekend, you might want to take note of the wayspots that need to be edited so you can make a plan to visit them once the challenge begins. More to share once it's all squared away. Happy weekend. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, you can't just drop that and drop the mic and walk away. Like, you got to give me a little more. What are you doing, Tintino? Come on.
The best part is that I think he waited just long enough for a couple people to reply, and then he went home for the weekend. Because
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I posted that GIF from The Office of the guy coming out going, "Oh my God, it's happening, it's happening." He laugh reacted to it and then has not responded to a single thing on the post.
Yep. It was like, all right, it's Friday, people. I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're out this weekend, hold off on your edits. I know it's Sunday by the time you're hearing this, but until they announce this, hold off on your edits because edits are going to be part of this next challenge. We don't have any details yet. I don't even think Niantic really has any details because they're finalizing some stuff, but
right.
This is exciting. I'm excited for this.
This is really exciting. I know you have some stuff that you want to fix, and there's some stuff that I want to fix cosmetically. So this is going to be really exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait to know exactly what's going on with this. I can't wait.
Yeah, me too. I posted one of the comments on this, and I was like, my procrastination in fixing the hundreds of wayspots in my area is finally paying off.
Yes, for sure. So everybody stay tuned. We will let you know when we know. And as you see, we will break in at any time of the day or the night. And
Absolutely.
I'm just glad that the show wasn't all the way edited and published, that we had some time to fix it. So
yeah,
good stuff.
Absolutely. All right, back to the show. Before we jump into the show, I wanted to give a shout out to Good Morning Johto sponsoring my coffee this morning. I got this at Cork and Bean, the local place. It's a peanut butter cup latte, and it made me think of Lane and the coffee in the Good Morning Johto, the coffee channel that we have in the Good Morning Johto. Discord. So I wanted to give him a shout out this morning because this stuff is delicious.
Nice.
I had it last week too, and I was like, this is going to be my new podcast tradition.
Go get the peanut butter cup latte and be good to go. I had a glass of orange juice that I just finished.
Nice. So yeah, check out Good Morning Johto. They got a short little podcast every single day, Monday to Friday, with all your Pokemon news. So I listen every day. It's great. Love Jane.
Do you think they'll be talking about Pokemon Go and Walmart on the next show? Possibly.
I would think so, yes. That's some good stuff. I want it to come to Canada, but
yeah. Before we get into topic number one, we probably should do a show at some point on sponsored stops and how they affect the map or don't affect the map, and how they affect the count or don't affect the count, because it can be different. So let's just kind of file that away to do a little research and talk about sponsored stops, because people are going to start to see stops at Walmart. And it's always the fear with sponsored stops that people are going to go, oh, Walmarts are eligible. Let me go and nominate X, Y, and Z. And then they get all front. So anyways, just let's figure that out.
Yeah. Just real quick. There's a post on the forums. I can't remember who posted it. It's titled, "Just a reminder, Walmarts are not eligible," or something like that. And they were talking about like the power spots and the sponsored stops and then existing stops, because a lot of the Walmarts in the US now have murals in the front little.
I know
one of my reviews yesterday, right? So people were just like, well, what's going to happen if the sponsored stop is on top of the already existing spot? I was like, I know exactly what's going to happen because it happened around the corner for me. There's a Circle K that, and I've talked about that Circle K on the show before, the car on the roof. It's a gym. So when they put the sponsored stop in, it was, a foot, maybe 2 feet, a meter, 2 meters away from, it was impossible to click. Like, it was just, you clicked it and then whichever one you got. Like, it was so bad. 2 weeks later, the sponsor stop was gone. So
Right.
I guess they did some sort of reconciliation, and they were just like, all right, Circle K, we're not going to make you pay for that one because there's already something there.
So I've been nominating a bunch of Walmart murals. I've showed you. I just did one the other day. I was out in my suit and tie after work one day, and I was like, ooh, my wife was like, I need you to go to Walmart and pick this up. And I'm like, okay. So I go to Walmart, and they're like, it's not here. You got to go to the one on Wilkinson. I'm like, that's on the other side of town. So I call my wife. She's like, I really need it. Can you just please drive over there? And I'm like, son of a gun. All the way. I drive by 5 Walmarts to get to the one Walmart that has the thing she needs. And I walk in and I see a mural, and I was like, it was meant to be. I was like, excuse me, can you move out of the way? I need to take a picture of this. And they was like, what? I was like, I do freelance work for Google. I need a picture of this to put it in our database. And they were like, oh, Google. Okay.
They play the Google card all the time.
So everybody moved out of the way, and I took a picture, and I'm like, I need to get it at another angle. And I took the picture. And then as I'm walking to get the thing my wife wanted, I got my phone and I did the nomination, and it's in voting now. So, yeah. So we can do a whole show on sponsor stops, but I know you've got a really cool show planned. So I'm ready when you are.
Yeah. Let's jump into topic number 1.
This is Sarah Amanda. Get ready for topic number 1.
So I had a whole other show planned. Speaking of getting off track here a little bit, I had a whole other show planned on memorial locations and benches and stuff like that. But then I saw a post on the forums discussing pools, and there's a lot of back and forth about what pools are eligible. So, and I know we've talked about pools briefly before, but here are the Wayspotters. We strive to be as relevant as possible. So we're going to dive in to the topic again.
That's what you did there. Dive in. I like that.
I even wrote in the notes, dive in, and I underlined it, and then I put in brackets, hold for groans.
Yeah. And, ooh.
Because I know people are just going to be like, oh, really?
They're like, oh,
No.
did you really have to go there?
I want to read exactly. I want to read the original post, and then a couple of clarifications made by Niantic, and then we will go from there. So the post is from BB from TN. I'm assuming that's BB from Tennessee, but I don't know. So don't hold me to that. I recently had a swimming pool at a hotel rejected, and Niantic rejected it upon appeal. The message I got when I appealed was something like, this nomination is not eligible as it is a swimming pool at a hotel. My question is, are swimming pools not eligible, or is the fact that it's located at a hotel what makes it ineligible? I would think swimming pools would be good way spots since they are places of social interaction and exercise. I'd appreciate any clarification on this. Thank you. Which is a fantastic post. If you have a question, this is exactly how to go about it on the forums. Side note, somebody on the forums commented that hotels were like mini communities, and then another person seemed to take that personally, and there's a lot of arguments going back and forth about whether or not, like, I was gonna jump in, but I was like, you know what, they don't need me third partying this conversation. So
you sent me the link, you're like, ooh, this is getting good, and I was like, oh yeah, this is getting good. I'm like, yeah, I like this.
It was like people were just like, I travel for work for like 6 months, 9 months out of the year. They're not communities, and people are just like, oh, I've met friends there, and it's just like, guys, you're getting off track here. That's not the point.
Way off track.
Shout out to Cindy Poo, who has a memory like a steel trap. It's just some of the stuff that they post on the forums. It's just like, first of all, how did you find the link to that? And 2, how do you remember all of this stuff? She's great, fantastic. There was a clarification in the 2020, so this is 4 years ago, 2020 AMA that said swimming pools at private residence hotels or similar residentially focused locations are ineligible. So that was 4 years ago.
Great.
Now, the new criteria clarification has a swimming pool section in their criteria. So I'm going to read that, and then I want to get your thoughts on it.
Okay, go ahead.
Community pools or those associated with sports facilities can make great nominations and should be considered eligible. While nominating, you should keep in mind that it should be a place where people can go and exercise or be social with others, a place of entertainment and fun. It is important to choose a pin placement on the side of the pool that respects and does not interfere with the use of the pool and is a safe location. So that's just an aside. Don't pin it in the middle of the pool. That's what that's. Now, to me, my friend Jamal, that overrides the 2020 answer. As a pool at a hotel is by definition a community pool that, if for all intents and purposes, is set up exactly the same as a pool at a sports facility. So what are your thoughts on that?
Okay, so I'll rewind to a couple shows ago where we talked about AMAs, and we talked about how we didn't need AMAs anymore because the point I made in there is I made some spoiled milk or some analogy where people would hold on to something for too long. Do you remember that? I don't remember what I said.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But this is one of those situations. Cindy Pooh has a mind like a steel trap, and this is no shot at her. But to pull out a clarification from an AMA from 4 years ago, when back in May 15th to be exact, we had a clarification. This is one of those things where we kind of need to blow up all the AMAs because they're no longer valid and just go off of the criteria. So to me, I'm a big fan of pools. I've been nominating pools for years, right? I remember showing you my mullet pool where it was business in the front, party in the back. And back then everybody was like, what are you doing? But it's a indoor-outdoor pool at a local hotel where part of the pool is on the inside and it gives you kind of that swampy kind of cave kind of feel. And then the other side is on the outside. And it's like in the winter, you can swim indoors. And if you're staying there in the summer, you can do both. A hotel to me is a community area. It's the ultimate community area. You have people not from the current location. Most likely, let's just say 90% of people are from out of town, foreigners in quotes, and they gather at a community place where most people go. I know when my family goes on vacation, we try to find some place with a nice pool because we want to hang out outside and not in the room. So to me, that makes a perfect place to gather and get exercise. I know my kids get exercise and be social with others. When my wife and I, when we went to Cancun, 21, maybe 22, she made tons of friends at the pool. You know, I'd come down. She's like, oh, these are our new friends from Kentucky. And these are our new friends from Kansas City and somewhere else. And we'd meet every day down at the pool and be social, have a couple drinks and, you know, get in, swim some laps. So I am in complete agreement that the pin placement needs to be somewhere where it's accessible for a lot of people. You don't want it in the middle of the pool. So if you're playing another Niantic game, you have to physically get in the pool to interact with it. But as long as the pin is in the right place, it's a perfect and safe location.
Yeah, absolutely. When we go out for my son's lacrosse tournaments, the team specifically books a hotel that has a pool so that all of the kids and all of the parents can go and hang out by the pool after a long day of games and relax and have fun. And so, and bond as a team, and we can bond as parents, right? And be social. I went to Vegas. Wow. Don't want to say how many years ago, because it was many. It was like 20 years ago, right? Went to Vegas, and I was sitting in the pool. I think the first day we got there, we were kind of just jet lagged, and we wanted to go relax by the pool. So we're sitting by the pool, and like I have a Canadian flag tattooed on my shoulder, and a girl from Utah came over and poked me in the arm and was like, "You're from Canada?" And I was like, yes, I am. And then so we got to talking, and I spent the whole weekend hanging out with her and her friends. Me and my buddy hang out with her and her friends, right? That was
right.
We were being social, right? So swimming pools are fantastic places. I think Testone, the first time this came up on the forums, Testone was like, well, I hope people would vote for these because it qualifies for 2 out of the 3 categories. It's a great place to be social, and it's a great place to exercise. And if you've got it in a cool place, it could be a good place to explore. So these are slam dunks.
In fairness to to Cindy Pooh and the AMA she posted, that was before the 2020 AMA was before we had the current criteria with the 3 different pillars of the criteria.
Right.
So I understand that. So no, Testone's right. It meets 2 out of 3. To me, that's a slam dunk.
Mm-hmm. And I think Cindy Pooh was trying to make a point with it. Maybe whoever did that appeal review was hung up on the old criteria, right? And the old clarifications, and maybe have some sort of document that's too old, right? So, like even people who work for Niantic, and I have air quotes going here when I say work for Niantic because we're not convinced that they're actual Niantic employees who are doing these appeal reviews. sometimes they make mistakes too, right? And I think they got this
Yep.
one wrong.
Yep.
But like swimming pools are a lot like real estate. It just comes down to location. And
Correct.
Niantic, and here's where I think people get hung up. Niantic has said on numerous occasions that publicly accessible means just that. It has to be accessible to the public in some form or another. Needing a membership ticket, access card, some other form of privilege to, and I use like air quotes again, privilege, to access it doesn't necessarily preclude it from being an acceptable Wayspot, right? Like we talked about military bases. You can't get onto a military base unless you know someone who's there. But there are publicly accessible areas of a military base where you can go and hang out with your family who's on the base. And then there's areas of a military base where you need to be like a general or a corporal or a sergeant to get into, right? That's, you need to have that sort of military privilege. That area is not eligible because it's militarily sensitive, right? But I don't think that. So here, I want to focus on the a pool associated with sports facilities, because this is I think the distinction that people can't correlate to hotels. I've lived a lot of places, and I don't think I've come across a single pool at a sports facility that didn't require a membership or for you to pay for single day access to be able to, for lack of a better term, access it, right?
Right.
Hotels are the same thing, right? Like you have to be staying at the hotel to get to the pool.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Right. To me, there really is no difference.
Right.
You can't just, unless you're like super slick, just walk into a hotel and go jump in their pool and start swimming around. You've got to show an ID, or you have to have like some one of those a key card.
Yep.
You have to have a key card, right? This is the key card to get into my parking garage and my office at work. It's a key card. So you have to have a key card to get in there. So now you make a good point, Chris. And I wanted to jump in, but you're on a roll and I didn't want to interrupt you. As long as someone has access, it's accessible. As long as someone, it doesn't have to be you or me. You or me might not be able to get in, but Jim Bob over here can get in. And as long as Jim Bob can get in, it's 100% legal.
And I would make the argument that it's easier for you to bring your friends to swim in the hotel pool with you who aren't staying at the hotel. It is far easier to get them into that pool than it is for you to get them into that pool at your gym or your sports facility.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like you can't sneak someone into a community pool. Like that's not happening, right? They got that stuff on lockdown. But like if you have 3 or 4 people in your hotel room, and I've done it before. Like I've gone to visit friends who were staying in a hotel and we're like, let's just go swimming. So we go swimming. I'm not staying there. Yeah. But I'm swimming in their pool.
Yep.
Right. So
Great Wolf Lodge is a great example of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
do they have do you have a Great Wolf Lodge near you?
We do. It's I think it's like 2 or 3 hours away, but there's one in Niagara Falls.
Have I told you the story about how my family stayed at a Great Wolf Lodge for a month?
A month?
Yeah, we were there for a month.
Wow. No, you have not told me that story.
So our house got hit by lightning in 2017, 2018, wow. And caught on fire. It was more of an electrical fire, like zapped every outlet in my house and burned out all the TVs and everything. So the insurance company was like, we need to put you in a hotel. We don't know how long. We need to put you in the hotel, while we go through and, make sure everything is good. So at the time, Charlotte, it was during the DNC when the Democratic National Convention was in Charlotte. So there was no hotels.
Right.
So they put us at like a Hilton for a night. And then, we got kicked out of there and they were like, well, there's this one place that's in Concord. I'm like, Concord? And just for people who aren't from Charlotte, that's like 20 miles away. And I'm like, that's so far. And I worked in South Carolina at the time. And I'm like, that's so far away. And they're like, oh, I'm like, what's the name of it? What kind of hotel is it? They're like, it's some place called Great Wolf Lodge. I'm like, we'll take it. We'll take it. No. He's like, no. I'm like, no, we'll take it. We'll take it. So we had a little card from the insurance company, a little debit card to, buy meals and such. So
Yeah.
our family stayed at the Great Wolf Lodge for a month. And towards the end of it, I did not ever want to see another water slide or swimming pool in my life. We were so like the last week, we did not even go down to the pool. We were so over it. But
Wow.
it was a great place to be social. Now, to your point, every weekend, my girls called their friends and said, "Hey, come hang out with us." And
Yeah.
their parents and the kids would come over. They'd hang out in the room. We'd go down there and eat at the restaurant, and we'd all go swimming. And it was accessible because we were
Mhm.
staying there. So my kids
Yep.
were like the most popular kids. People were calling us going, "Hey, what are you guys doing this weekend?" I'm like, "Do you want to come over to Great Wolf Lodge?" They were like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Come on over. Let's go." I'm like, "I'm not even going to be there. I'll leave my card. You just go swim and just don't do anything stupid while you're there." So yeah.
Mhm. That's awesome. That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's my story for the week.
I imagine after a month of doing anything, you're pretty much over it, right? Like if you're doing
And it was
every
actually a
single
little
day,
bit longer than a month. It was actually a little bit longer than a month. It was like 6 weeks. It was we were there for
Okay.
I would go into work every day and people were like, "You smell like chlorine." I'm like, "I don't want to talk about it."
I bet it was a while because if it was your whole house, takes a while
Yeah.
to rewire an entire
Yeah.
house, right? So
Yeah. It was a hot mess.
I bet. So, long story short, community pools, they're eligible. I think the only way I could see a pool not being eligible is if it's someone in someone's backyard, like apartment
Yes.
complex pools eligible, sports complex pools eligible, hotel pools eligible. They're eligible, guys. It's just this is
Yeah.
the thing, right? So they're great places to be social. They're great places to exercise. Please vote on them as such. So that's topic number 1. Let's jump into topic number 2.
Hi, it's Low Pound Cake. Don't forget about topic number 2.
All right. So second half of I scrapped my show idea for this week. We got a message. We talked about supporting information back in episode 108. Link will be up here. So last week we did this and we pointed, and I think it's actually going to be this week. When I went to edit the video, I'm like, it's this corner, and I can see it in screen that I'm looking at. It's this corner. But when I went to edit the video, we're pointing in the wrong direction. So
Okay.
don't know what happened. I even put a little note in the YouTube saying I don't know why. So it's the top right-hand corner. It'll be up there. 108. We got a message from Wayfarer ambassador and friend of the show, Traxy25.
Wait. Hold on a second. Just 1 second. We got to do this real quick, just for giggles. Get ready to say 108.
To episode 108. So we got a message from them about how they were getting frustrated with supporting photos, and they've been seeing in the reviews. And funny enough, I posted in the Discord on Wednesday, and here's a quote from me: "I'm going to start counting the number of times I come across a supporting photo that's utterly useless. I bet it's north of 10%. And then you sent me that message on Thursday, and I was like, okay, we have to talk about this, because if I'm seeing it and they're seeing it, then other people are seeing it too.
Yep.
Right. Funny enough, I did some reviews Wednesday, and I think I did do 6 before I found 2 supporting photos that were completely useless. It's like, guys, what are we doing?
That's so funny.
So in episode 108, we talked about all aspects of supporting information kind of as a whole, but I wanted to focus on the photos themselves, because recently that's the part that's been driving me nuts. Not necessarily the supporting information, but the supporting photos.
Mm-hmm.
So we broke it into things that you don't want to do and things that you do want to do. So, and here's the one that really kind of, to quote Peter Griffin, really grinds my gears. People, what you don't want to do is turn around and take the supporting photo, right? This is what happens, I think, 10-15% of the time when I see this, and it's usually the thing that's wrong, is you take a picture of the point of interest, and it's a great picture. It's framed perfectly. It's spaced really well. I can tell it's going to look great in a spinner or on the background of a portal or on a flower or whatever. And I was like, that's a great photo, and then I scroll down and it's the street,
Yes.
or it's like a field, or it's something completely unrelated. And I'm just like, that tells me absolutely nothing about where it is. And then I go on the street view, can't find it. The background looks different. And it's, you know what, lately I've just been going and clicking inaccurate location. Sorry. See you later. Like, you're not going to help me.
It really makes you have to do additional investigation when you can just take the supporting photo and back up, turn to a different angle, and take another photo, wider lens, maybe turn the phone sideways, but have the POI in the same photo with things in the background that I can verify it's there. It's the most frustrating thing to have someone to take a picture of a statue and then turn around 180 degrees and take a picture of something completely unrelated to the statue. It makes no sense, and it just boggles my mind.
Yep. So I got a couple of examples for our YouTube folks. And the second one's actually kind of funny. Like supporting photos like this. So this was nominated as a community garden, and I have the air quotes up again. It's just it's the entrance to a building with some flowers in front of it. So it's not eligible. But like the supporting photo is literally exactly the same as the main photo.
Right.
And I'm not convinced that's not a third-party photo. I didn't even look at it. But like I bet you I could Google Lens search that photo and it would come up on a website somewhere.
It just looks like a third-party photo from the way it's taken of it. It looks like it's from the website of the management company that built the building, and they're showing off that red awning. Like, it just looks third-party-ish. Like nobody's really taking that picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that doesn't tell me anything, right? And
right.
Credit to this person that they nominated this exactly where that is. I found it on Street View. It looks exactly like that. So that's cool. But like first of all, it's not eligible. And second of all, your supporting photo is the same. Like, don't do that. That's
right.
This one this could be Wayspot of the week. It's a sculpture of a bunch of faces in a ball. Looks like a garden, and it's got legs coming out from underneath it. Xander tagged me in the Discord and says this is straight up an enemy from Elden Ring. And I'm like, that's fantastic.
That's good.
There's the enemy from Elden Ring. If you're watching the YouTube, and if you know Elden Ring, then great. It's literally a ball of faces. I've never played Elden Ring, so I don't know what that is, but I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
You know what it looks
like.
He's
missing legs. He's not wrong.
Right. But like the supporting photo. So here's what really gets me about this one is the background of this, the main photo of the building is white. They turned around and took a photo, I'm guessing, from behind them. That building is red.
Yes.
So that is very suspicious when I'm looking at these two things, right? Your supporting photo needs to have the point of interest in it in some capacity.
In some form or fashion.
Yeah. And it's like, I found this one on Street View, and it is in that location, and it actually already exists in the game, so it was a duplicate. But that supporting photo is just terrible. Last one. So I got all three of these like almost in succession when I was doing my reviews the other day. I was like, this is just too perfect. This is like a close-up photo of it looks like an ancient Egyptian kind of god's head. It looks like the head from Lucario, essentially, is what it looks like.
Yeah. Anubis.
Anubis. There you go. Thank you. On a circular kind of carving. There's some other stuff like a leg in there, and there's some other kind of ancient Egyptian-esque carvings on this thing. But it's on the background. It looks like it's on a white wall, right?
It does.
So the supporting photo is a street with a red building. So, like, what are you trying to tell me with this supporting photo? Because I get nothing. And I couldn't find this on Street View because I'm assuming it's inside.
I was going to say it's probably inside. It's completely unrelated. Like,
yep.
So like if you showed me these two photos, I would not think they were associated with each other at all. I mean, it's what I said earlier. Someone took a photo of the POI and then turned around 180 degrees and snapped a photo and said these two things are correlated together. And it's like, huh? What?
Yep. Exactly. And I bet you I could do 10 reviews right now and I would come up with one.
Oh,
that had
for
a
sure.
supporting photo that's terrible.
For
right?
sure. Yeah, for sure.
So here's some things that you do want to do with your supporting photo, right? It needs to include the point of interest that you're nominating. If your supporting photo doesn't have the point of interest, it tells me nothing. You could have taken that photo anywhere. And that's the thing, right? People, you could get sneaky with this. And not that I'm trying to condone people from doing this, but if that supporting photo is taken at the location and I can confirm from Google Street View that you took the supporting photo at that location, it still tells me nothing. It just tells me that you were there at some point, right? But if you've got the point of interest in there, and here's the best part, like if you can kind of include landmarks in your supporting photo, then I can correlate on Street View. Because this is the mistake that people make, and I've seen this. They'll include the point of interest in their supporting photo, but they won't include like painfully obvious landmarks. Like I did one the other day that was at the corner of an intersection. And I could have taken the supporting photo, kind of angled it up the street, but I was like, no, there's a keg restaurant across the street that I know is on Street View, and I can get the intersection sign that people love to nominate that aren't eligible in my supporting photo and the point of interest. So I got all three of them in there, the point of interest, the intersection, and the restaurant. And then in my supporting information, I'm like, you can see the restaurant, which will correlate the side of the street that it's on and the intersection in the supporting photo. Emily picked it up anyway, so it was moot, right. But include landmarks. Like I've seen people, it's just like, there's a playground that's on the Lightship map right there. You can get in your supporting photo, and then I can look at the playground, look at the picture of the Wayspot, and go, yeah, I get it. It's right there.
You essentially get that for free.
Right. Like it boggles my mind that I've had to click I don't know, right, to the location. And like at some point I'm just gonna start clicking inaccurate location and saying no. Right. Because what did I say? Like, pull this up for me.
It's like, don't make me do all this additional work when you were there on site, and it's really easy. I think it comes down to what Traxy was talking about. People still don't know what a supporting photo is supposed to be. They just don't know. Because it says additional information submitted by the player on why this should be a Wayspot. Yep. And I don't remember what it says in game. I don't think it says that. I'd have to go and look, but maybe Niantic can do a better job of the language inside of the application when you're taking it to help you help yourself be better.
Yeah. I would love to see, and this is that's a fantastic idea. I would love to see a little pop-up that comes up when you're saying, hey, pick a supporting photo. I would love to see a little pop-up that says, and maybe it only comes up 10 or 15 times before it never comes up again. Make sure you've got the point of interest in your supporting photo, right?
Yeah.
So, remember what I was saying? Yeah. I could do 10 reviews and I would get one. Number 2.
Yeah.
This is review number 2 that I've done. It's a gazebo, and the supporting photo is literally the exact same photo as the main photo, right? And
yeah,
I can see it on satellite. I can probably see it on Street View. I'm gonna look on Street View. It's right there. I see it. I get it. You guys being lazy. But here's the thing, right? If you're gonna be lazy with these slam dunk nominations, that laziness is gonna creep into your nominations that require that extra work, right? Like this doesn't require extra work. This is kind of a slam dunk, right?
Right.
But you don't want that habit to get into your other ones that do need that effort and do need that work, right?
Right. No, that makes sense. So, Chris, let me read you something. So I just opened up Ingress because, I submit all my things through Ingress. And here is what it says for supplemental information. So it says show the surrounding area. And it says submit an additional photo of the area surrounding your nomination. This will help the reviewer determine whether the portal location is safe and there is enough space for agents to gather. So that's what it says. So
Pokemon Go is almost exactly the same, verbatim, except it changes to Pokestop instead of Portal and trainers instead of agents. It's literally the exact same verbiage. I have it open on my phone right now.
So could they be a little more prescriptive in what they're saying in that language? Sure. And you know what?
Absolutely.
You or I, one of us, or probably both of us, will probably send a message over to them and say, hey, you know, this is kind of a this is an area of opportunity where you can make it a lot easier on everybody down the line. So this is one of those things, like you and I talk about being in management. This is one of those things you can fix high up and everybody downstream benefits from one change.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
so, you know, submit an additional photo of the area surrounding your nomination. This will help reviewers determine whether or not the portal location is safe. So, you know, all they have to include there is something about having your portal POI nomination in the secondary photo. They don't have to change anything. Just add a sentence to make sure you say, make sure your nomination is in this second photo as well. That's really all they would have to do. That's it.
Yep. Why don't you and me workshop something? We'll come up with something and we'll send it off to the Wayfarer team. And
we'll send it off to the Wayfarer team. Yeah.
I'll put together
and
a
then we'll
tweet
get
to remind everybody too.
And then we'll get the message. Sorry, you're going to have to contact the Pokemon team and the English team as we don't.
Yeah.
You know, no, let's workshop something and send it over. But I think that would be, a holistic fix that would help unfrustrate a lot of Wayfarer reviewers who get these nonsensical second photos that don't help. They're either the same or they're of something completely abstract and it doesn't help anybody at all.
Yeah. So here's it's funny enough. Let me share this one real quick because I just hit next. This is actually a pretty decent. Oh, that's not. There we go. So pull this one out for me. This is like a bike rack. So the bike rack looks like a person on a bike. Looks like there's several in this area that have already gone through, but this one, the supporting photo is you can see the back half of the bike and then a very distinctive building in the background that I bet you I could find on Street View in that location. Or maybe not. There's no Street View there. But like I believe that it's there because that building has the archway and you can see the archway on satellite right here. So that's a good supporting photo.
Yeah, that's a great supporting photo. Shout out to our friends in St. Louis and Flashy Asics and all the bike riders. Every time I see a bike rack, it makes me think of all of our friends and listeners in St. Louis. So that's awesome. Where is this one? This
one is in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I was going to say, I thought I reviewed this one. I'm like, that looks really familiar. I'm almost positive I reviewed this like a couple of days ago. I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
What's the zip code on that?
That is 28213.
Okay, yeah, I know exactly where that is just by looking at the map. I'm like, hold on a second, that looks familiar. Yeah. I'm
so
pretty
for
sure.
Those of you wondering, my bonus location is still set to Charlotte, North Carolina. So
thank you. We appreciate your service, sir.
You are welcome. Speaking of that, well, I'm pretty sure I got your Walmart mural in my reviews yesterday.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome. Yep. Yeah. I don't know why Emily didn't pick that up. So Aquablast 64 tells me all the time that Emily hates me. He's like, I don't know why Emily didn't take that. Emily hates you. I'm like, hey, you know what? I went 19 for 19. Remember that streak I told you I was on with all my trail markers? I'm like, Emily and I are good. If she misses a couple, that's fine. Like I got 19 in a row. It was such a cool feeling to have all those go through at once. I'm like, I'm fine with her not taking that because there's no way the public is not going to approve this mural. Like it's a slam dunk mural. So if it takes a couple more days, that's fine. And again, it's on the other side of town that I never go to. So I probably will never spin it. So I'm fine if it takes a little longer.
Yeah. I nominated the coffee shop I went to this morning today. So I'm hoping Emily picks that one out because Emily got me a I was kind of surprised at this. Emily picked up a bakery.
Oh,
that I was
yeah,
at.
that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
She approved that one, so I was like, that was kind of surprising. I like that one. That was kind of cool. So I'm kind of hoping she picks this one up too, because there is a Pokestop in that cell that I need to get removed. So I'm kind of hoping that she picks this one up and it goes through, so I can go and remove that other one. Because there was, during COVID, they shut down a bunch of businesses downtown. So they just kind of went out of business. So they put up plywood to cover up the businesses that had shut down.
Yeah.
And then they painted a really nice mural on the side of the plywood, thanking all of the first responders and doctors and nurses and all. It's really, so someone nominated it and it went in the game, and it's been in there for 3 years. But now they've taken the plywood down because they're going to reopen the businesses that are there. People are buying them kind of vibrant again. So I actually put in a thing to remove it. I was like, it's blah, 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 blah. And it got rejected. So now I have to go and do a scan of that little
making you do more work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, get it removed. So I'm kind of hoping this one goes through before then, so we don't lose a stop in that area.
Right.
All right. I think that's good. Let's do very quickly Tales from Canada, because I got a good one.
Get ready to explore Canada's history through the diverse experiences and perspectives of the real people who live them. Every other week, Chris will take you oot and a boot through a fun segment we call Tales from Canada. So grab your double-double, make sure you have all your loonies and toonies, and get ready to hang a Larry. It's time for Tales from Canada.
All right. This week's Tales from Canada comes from Quebec in 2019. And the title is Hockey Game Breaks Out After Massive Pileup on Quebec Highway. So first, I'm going to start with nobody died in this pileup. There were a couple of minor injuries, but nothing major. Nobody died. So I feel okay laughing at this. There was about 45 kilometers northeast of Montreal. There was a highway, massive pileup. Some people suffered minor injuries. There's an estimated 40 to 50 cars involved in the enormous collision. But the highway was shut down for several hours. And a bunch of people on the road decided to get out and to play some hockey. So
that's amazing.
It's such a Canadian thing. How all of these people had hockey sticks in their vehicles with hockey pucks, and they just played hockey for a couple of hours.
Every episode of Tales from Canada, I've said this same phrase. That's the most Canadian thing I've ever seen, and I think this follows right along. Like, this is amazing. Like, totally amazing.
So for our audio listeners, and I'll tweet this out so that it comes out around now when the episode is live. It's a picture of a highway with a bunch of cars. So here's the best part. The people on the left side of this highway pulled off onto the shoulder. And then the people on the right side of the highway pulled off onto the shoulder on the right side to make room. So there's cars on either side of the highway and like 6 people with hockey sticks shooting the hockey puck around. And you can see a cop just blocking off the part of the highway. You can see the pile up in the background, but there's a cop right there. And there's a cop in the car just watching them.
And everybody's playing hockey. And it looks like the person in the red might even have skates. No, they have boots. Okay.
No, is there boots?
I was gonna say if they were wearing skates, like they were way too prepared. Like that would just be amazing. Like that is so good. Yeah. That's so good. I love that.
I wonder if I can get this video to play. Nope. I don't know if you're gonna be able to hear that. The audio will come through.
Yeah, but I can hear it. Yeah.
Shake the background. So great. This is some crisp passes too. These guys are pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, the backhand pass.
Ooh, a little behind the back. Ooh, nice.
There's some people in the so I just thought this was hilarious. So
that's quintessentially Canada right there. I love that. That's great. That's so good. That's the kind of heat you bring in this segment, Chris, and we respect it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that was awesome. All right, let's take a break, play some dad jokes, get some water, and we'll be back with Wayspot of the Week and Cold of the Week.
Are you serious? This again? It's season 3.
Why did the banana go to the doctor? Because it wasn't peeling very well. My wife asked me to stop singing Wonderwall to her. I said, maybe. What do a cigarette and a hamster have in common? They're actually both harmless until you stick them in your mouth and light them on fire. Lightning struck the entire orchestra, but only one person got hit. The conductor. Ooh, I've got another banana one for you. What's Beethoven's favorite song? Banana. What do you call a naughty lamb dressed up like a skeleton for Halloween? Bad to the bone. Bad. What did Tennessee? The same thing Arkansas.
And welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the dad jokes this week. Let's jump into Wayspot of the week.
Let's take a look at a beautiful example of what the Wayspotters podcast thinks you should be nominating. We proudly present the Wayspot of the week.
I'll take this one. You can take the next one. So,
Okay.
and I need to post in our Discord and ask people to do this when they give us some in the interesting find or whatever we name it.
Mhm.
I want them to take like a full size picture and post it in there, because then when we pull it up in the YouTube, it looks like this.
It looks a lot better. Yeah.
This is a penguin. So this is from Notorious POG in the Wayfarer discussion Discord. It's titled Moody Gardens Penguin Statue, and it's a sculpture made from marine debris and plastic pollution. And it is gotta be a 15 foot penguin.
Oh, for sure.
Made out of garbage, essentially, that they've pulled out of the ocean. And like, it looks just like a penguin. It's fantastic. And it looks like it's on a bit of an iceberg. There's a sign there that I think is probably educating about marine debris and garbage pollution in the ocean. And it's a huge topic too, right? Like, it's the garbage in the ocean is just, it's so prevalent and it's terrible. But this is a huge penguin that looks amazing on like a little iceberg. And you can tell that it's made out of garbage, but you can also tell that this is a penguin. It's fantastic. It's amazing.
Right. Yep, I love it. It's huge. It's it raises awareness. It's a great place to gather. I mean, it's emblematic of the stuff that we put in our oceans, that they were able to get that many vibrant colors out of it.
Yeah.
Something like this together, and then kind of show that like the stuff that we use to put this together is who you're hurting. So these poor penguins are getting garbage. This is great. I mean, I like it. I don't see how we would not have this as a Wayspot of the week. And somebody with a lot of creativity put this together. So shout out to you, person.
Yep. And like, the oceans are kind of like the lifeblood of the planet too, right? So we got to make sure that we're taking care of it.
The healthier our oceans are, the healthier we are.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's jump into Wayspot of the week number 2.
Hey, it's Low Pound Cake. The Wayspotters think you should be nominating more stuff like this.
All right. So Wayspot of the week number 2 comes to us from Agent X in the Pokemon Professor Discord. And Chris, if you can scroll up a little bit, I don't have the description on mine, or scroll down a little bit. So it's Wings of Hope and Peace. And the description reads, large sculpture representing peace and hope around the world, installed in October of 2024, right in front of the Wasamuth Center for Human Rights. So what you're looking at, people, for those of you who are listening on audio, and I'll kind of describe it. So it's a stone wall, very nicely masoned stone wall. And then set in front of it is wings, a left wing and a right wing that kind of go up and kind of arch out in its area. And on the base of the wing is kind of lighted rock, and it's sitting on a base. So it's one of those where you can go and stand in front of it or stand inside of it and take a picture. But it's really cool. It's in front of this museum, and it's one of those signature things that you would tell someone to meet you at, or visitors come into town and take a picture of it. It's one of those things. The day it probably is like neon and it's a different color, but this is by far one of the cooler things that I've seen. We have something in Charlotte similar to this that's kind of made out of aluminum and it just kind of lights up. But this thing is really cool. So shout out to Agent X for finding this and posting it in the Discord. It's really cool. And it's probably got a really good story behind it. And I'm guessing there's probably a plaque somewhere that kind of talks about the artist and the dedication of it. But this is definitely a great candidate for Wayspot of the Week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I don't know if you can tell from your angle, but it looks like there's the word peace written in the middle of the lighted part.
Yes.
Conscience, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Great call. I did not see that, but I see it now. Yeah. Very cool.
This is
very cool.
Super cool. Yeah, thank you to Agent X for that one. Let's jump into something that's not fantastic. Call of the week. I've been working on the Wayfarer all the live long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hey, Jamal. I found some coal. All right. The title of this one, we're going to start there, is Art Contemporaire du Camping. I believe that translates to contemporary camping art.
Mm-hmm.
The description.
And you've done this to yourself again. You've done this to yourself.
Yes, I have. This one's easier though because it's French, and I speak a little bit of French. Yeah, it's contemporary camping art is the title. The description is d'oeuvre art atypique, so it's atypical egg art. So that sounds cool and interesting until you look at the photo, and it is a light. It's a leaning over lamppost. That's it. It's an egg-shaped light on top of a light pole that's leaning. So that's not art. That's a light post, and it looks like it's in like a little trailer park kind of camping area. Which sure. But like that's not contemporary art. And this comes from who gave us this? Liam in the Wayfarer discussion Discord. That's where this came from. So
I mean, if you just read this description and the title, you're like, oh, you're expecting to see something cool. And then if you just look at the photo, it would never match the description. Not in 100 years.
Not in
100 years.
That is incorrect. That is Call of the Week.
Call of the Week, indeed.
Thank you to Liam for posting that. Got a good chuckle out of that. And I thought, with the Tales from Canada being from Quebec, that we should have a little bit of French in the episode.
Yep,
so
agree.
I like to tie things together here at the Wayspotters podcast. Do you got anything else?
I have nothing else, my friend.
I got nothing else either. We're at about an hour, so I'll go ahead and sign us off. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayspotters. We really appreciate it. A big thank you goes out to our executive producer, KatettheKonz, and our show historian, Maddie G, and to all of our Patreons. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode of Wayspotters, there are a few ways you can show us. You can follow us on our socials. We're on X at Wayspotters, also on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast, and TikTok at I Make Wayspots. We are incredibly responsive and love interacting with our followers. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. You can also visit our website, www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can get links to everywhere you can download the show. You can also send us a message directly from the website or email us wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. Little aside here, Traxy sent us that message, and I scrapped my show idea and kind of did a whole topic on it this week. So if you've got something that you want us to discuss or talk about, or you think something that you think that the Wayfarer community needs to hear us say or us talk about, please let us know. I don't know about Jamal, but there are days that I'm writing my shows on Thursday when I'm coming up with ideas, right? So if you've got ideas, we will gladly take them. And there's a real good chance that we talk about it on the next show after you sent us something. So
yes.
Keep that in mind.
Like Amanda last week.
Like Sarah Amanda last week, Traxy this week. Yeah, absolutely. Help us program our shows. Sometimes we need it. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. For those who still need to be sure to check us out. We are at youtube.com/@Wayspotters podcast. Leave us a voicemail on our hotline, 704-426-3710, or tweet us a voice message. You never know, your voicemail may appear on an upcoming episode of the show. Finally, if you're not a member of the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon, you can join for as little as $1 US a month. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/Pokemon Professor. You'll have access to the Discord for the entire family of shows, which is growing, and I love it. Wayspotter Special Conditions, gotta watch them all. Purified Podcasting, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Darkrai, and Lured Up. It is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Jamal and I are active in the Discord a lot, so come and hang out. We get lots of our show ideas from the Discord, so please come hang out with us. We would love it. With that, we look forward to you joining us again next week on this episode of Wayspotters. We appreciate all of the support and all the love that we get each week. We couldn't do this without all of you. And remember, it's not that far. Get out of your car.